What is up, sweet family, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dina Brenchie, and I'm a dating coach. This week, we're going to dive into service to others, and this is our energy series, so we're kind of just walking our way up the energetic ladder, so to speak. Last week, we did cooperation, and this week, we're doing service to others, and you can really see the energetic frequency increase. So it's just exponentially going to give you more energy to be in a space of service. So to think about others, to want to do things to help others, and really be in a space of self-love so that you're in abundance and you can give to others freely. So this week we kind of break it all down. It's a really, really beautiful lesson on service to others. And then also we kind of build for next week. And I'm so excited to share it with you. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, subscribe, make sure that you're a part of the sweet family. I can't wait to share this with you. Welcome to the Sweet Life Podcast. Are you ready to start living your life with more passion, purpose, and pleasure? And stay tuned to learn more from your behavioralist expert, dating coach, and relationship guru, Sweet Deans. Hello, my sweet family, and welcome to episode 8. This week, we are going to talk about service to others, which is one of my favorite topics. I talked last week about how passionate I am about service and how serious I take my life's work. So this week and next week will be lessons that I've been working on my entire life. And I know that sounds strange to have been working on service to others since childhood, but I really have always had a deep passion for helping any human or other creature in need. So this topic is really exciting for me. Along with service, we will cover traits comparable to it, such as compassion and concern. I realized after re-listening to my last few podcasts in this energy series that I never explicitly stated the purpose for these, and I couldn't help but laugh at myself. And I'm very new to podcasting, and I know it's just a part of the process to forget to include things or to have certain parts that might not be as relatable as you want them to be. But I think that it's neat to see the evolution of learning even in myself as I take on this new project and just put myself out there, knowing that I'm not perfect and that I'm just like you, trying my best every day to dig a little deeper and trying to get better at thought work and self-mastery. So the purpose of learning about energy levels is that they are the foundational tools that I will be referring back to throughout our podcast journey. They summarize with great accuracy the different energetic levels and outputs that we can operate on and how to be aware of them. The reason that this awareness is so important is that like energy attracts like energy. And when I hear people talk about always seeming to attract the wrong person, I really want to break down what thoughts they have that they're calling these people into their lives with. Understanding these different energetic levels, along with what responses, feelings, and actions are associated with them, gives you a deeper insight into what you're actually radiating and, in turn, receiving from the world around you. So last week, we talked about cooperating with others and being in a space of compromise and finding solutions. This is applicable for every relationship that you will ever have. This energy work is not just beneficial for you, but everyone else around you, including your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, partner, roommate, coworkers, friends, family. The sweetest part, I think, about this cooperative level, just as a recap, is that you can start to see sameness. By that, I mean the ability to recognize the similarities between everyone, despite the different words that they use. I'm going to give you a short example of this. For my friends that are religious, they may pray before their meals and give thanks to God for the food and pray for anything else that might be going on around them and throughout that day. I do the same kind of practice, and I call it centering and bringing awareness to my meal. During this time, I give myself intentions for the day, and I feel positivity flowing through me and around me. It's the exact same practice with the exact same intention called two different names. And at the cooperative level, you would see this as sameness. If you were in a space of defense and wanting to see opposition just because we might call it two different things, then a statement like this might really annoy you. And remember, annoyance is an anger level of response. We learned that a few weeks back. So that's just a fun little example I thought I'd share about cooperation. So, my sweet family, this week we are really kicking into some high-level energy. We are starting to look outside of ourselves and beginning to focus on how to serve others. The interesting part about this level, which isn't inherently known, is that you must also have love for yourself at this stage. This is the underlying thought at this service level of energy. In cooperation, which we learned about last week, you start to have awareness of yourself and even begin to like yourself. At the service to others level, loving yourself is the foundation of that energetic level. So I actually get a fair amount of pushback on the term loving yourself, and I've asked my clients what it would look like if they thought that they were amazing. And the response I get back is often that they fear that they will become vain and self-centered. So they're nervous about taking on the thought that they are amazing. And I understand the logic here. It's perfectly normal for you to be nervous, given that in your past you might have been told that it's vain to think that you're amazing or wonderful, or insert any other positive word here. I want to challenge you to think about how true is that thought really. I'm going to offer a counter thought for you. Think back to a time when you were in anger, pain, and depression. What were you constantly thinking about? If you didn't say yourself, then I don't know who you're trying to kid. Because the most self-centered and self-absorbed space that you can be in is one where you hate yourself. Because for those of you that have been there, it's massively consuming of all of your time, energy, and resources. And sure, the thoughts may briefly flicker to how wrong other people are or how unfair life is, but the underlying core to all these thoughts is you. It would almost take a crowbar at this level to separate you from you, and realistically, you don't want to stop thinking about yourself because it perpetuates that whole low-level cycle, and it feels quite comfortable after a while. So let's put that thought aside that loving yourself would lead to any kind of vanity. What loving yourself actually does lead to is service to others. You're essentially shifting from a space of needing more for yourself and trending towards living in abundance and looking for an opportunity to pass on that abundance to others. I'm not talking about financial abundance, but it can lead to that. I'm talking about energetic abundance. This is such a beautiful space to exist in. The sole focus at this level is compassion and recognizing that all of life is suffering. The thoughts at this level would be understanding that encouraging others and supporting their growth ultimately leads to your growth. It's incredibly energetic at this level because you can appreciate the ways in which you can be more involved in your community and begin to do things that bring joy to others as well as yourself. A super simple way to execute this is to volunteer for any nonprofit organization. I can think of a really cool example of this level of energy and how it has since shaped my focus. I was living in California at the time, working for a wildlife center, and they partnered with a women's shelter for women and children who had been in abusive situations. The wildlife center asked me if I could go to the shelter and bring bunnies and sugar gliders and chinchillas for the moms and kids to touch and play with. This was such a special day of getting to sit with these women and children and have them hold the animals and watch them feel a connection to these furry little creatures. Some of them cried, some of them laughed, but all of them were excited to get this opportunity to touch these little soft animals. I got to hear a lot of their stories, and it gave them an opportunity to open up and share whatever they wanted in this safe, warm, cozy space. And I believe that if you are brave enough to live it, the least I can do is listen to you. I was so blessed to be a part of that day with this group of women and children. I felt so much joy and love and compassion. I had so much energy after that experience, which has encouraged me to continue to seek out more ways to connect with women in my community. And ultimately, it led to me starting this group to support all the women in my life. I started this group just over a year ago, and it's really been blossoming into a beautiful expression of freedom, non-judgment, and safety. If that kind of group excites you or you're interested in attending, I'll make sure to include the link in the show notes. So let's talk about what each of the different energetic levels of response would be when there's a mismatch between your expectation and reality. So the example that I'm going to give is someone says something unkind about you at work. I think everyone can relate to that. The apathetic response would be to do nothing. Feel like everyone hates you and that you're unlovable. The anger response would be jumping into conflict or defense mode. Approach them with anger and frustration. Try to battle it out and tell them how wrong they are. The The cooperation response would be to recognize there's a problem and try to find a solution. Try to see things from their side, see where this message is coming from. The service level of energy understands that they are just being unkind out of fear or judgment, and it offers a way to be beneficial to the others in order to redirect the situation. Through recognizing and understanding that the other person is just doing the best that they can with the tools that they have, you can remove your own thoughts out of the situation and be objective about where this fear or judgment is coming from. This level of energy is less problem and solution driven and more about compassion and understanding for others through the process. It focuses far less on why things are happening and just has an underlying desire to be helpful and useful in order to move things forward. This level of energy is positively charged and it feels purposeful. Some phrases that I recognize at this level are, what can I do to help you with this? How would you like me to assist you? And what do you need from me in order to complete this? An amazing lesson that I learned at this level of energy is to quit taking things personally. It's never about you. It's always just the other person's thoughts about you. This doesn't define you. You get to define yourself and how you show up in the world. So be cognizant of that. It's never personal. You might be thinking this service level energy is the highest level that you can get to, but the shift from this level to the next is actually through recognizing that even though you're wanting to be helpful, there's still an underlying layer of judgment or assumption that the other person needs your help. I think that this is something that's tricky to recognize, and the greater awareness you have around this, the easier it will be to shift upward into higher levels of energy. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what comes next? Well, don't you worry, my sweet loves. There are 3 more levels after this one. Woo! The next level after service is acceptance, peace, and reconciliation. So we'll learn all about how to be in a space of non-judgment and what that feels, looks, and sounds like, as well as how to move from that into wisdom and joy. This is going to be a rather blissful next couple of weeks, and I'm so excited to share it with all of you, my sweet, beautiful family. As always, sweet family, know that I am so grateful for you. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and if you're looking to take the work deeper, feel free to reach out at sweetdeens.com. That's sweet, DEENS.com, or on Instagram at sweetdeens. I look forward to talking to you next week. All my love. Thank you so much for watching, sweet family. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. Tater and I will be answering questions this week, so just let us know if you have anything that you want answered. We love you so, so much, and have a beautiful week.